This is not a Parsha video, but I could not help but recount something from this past week's Parsha because it is just so relevant and important in our lives. Because in the very beginning of last week's Parsha, Shmos, we start this new book of the Torah, which talks about the Exodus from Egypt. But it starts in the very beginning of God naming the people, the Jews, who came down to Egypt. And it's peculiar because why are the people who came down to Egypt named in this book about the Exodus? It sounds more like it's about going into slavery by beginning it this way. And also, all the people who came down to Egypt were just named in the end of Bereshit, in the end of the last book. So why are we repeating it now? So I just want to share with you a beautiful answer from Rashi. Actually says that just as someone counts something that they really love and care for, right? Whenever I go out with my children, I'm making sure everyone's with us. How many are meant to be with us? How many are with us? I'm counting each one of them, making sure we don't lose anyone, literally. And so too, God counted us. And also Rashi says that it's likened to the stars, that each star has a number and each one has a name. What does this mean? Having a number. A number is not focusing on your individual identity, but it's focusing on the greater picture, the greater group, right? If you're counting off on a trip, sometimes right on birthright trips, there's always a count off to make sure everyone in the group is there. It's to ensure that the group is a whole group together, that they're not missing anyone. That having a number, being part of something greater is actually a phenomenal asset that we have, that we're part of the Jewish people. We're part of this mission in the world, and we each have our own purpose within the greater group. At the same time, we each have a name, just like the stars. Each star, each one of us has a name that's so precious and correlates to our essence, to exactly who we are and what is our purpose and what is our importance. And it's so important then to recognize within each of us, to think about, who am I? What makes me different from the group? What makes me unique and special? What do I bring to it in that way, in my uniqueness? But also, what do I bring to as being part of it? Am I uplifting the group? Am I helping bring everyone closer, helping it to be more friendly, more comfortable, more kind, more relaxing, more meaningful, more connective? Is that what I'm doing as part of the group? And to think about that within the community. And then so too with ourselves. Am I not only focusing on my identity with the group, but my own personal identity of what are my unique talents and strengths that God gave me that I'm responsible to bring to the world and to use. And each one of us really has both. And that's part of the message, that as we go now in this book of Shmos, take this journey, this adventure into what's coming, and the plagues and going out of Egypt and the whole thing, the hardship and the redemption and the freedom. As we go through the whole thing, to remember, so too in our life, with any of our challenges and our celebrations, to think about throughout the whole thing, what am I contributing to my community and as an individual? And to know that the redemption, the freedom, it's always ahead. It's part of the bigger picture. And that's where we're headed towards, and that God loves us and counts us again and again, each one of us, because we're so precious and dear and important. So thank you so much for listening, and have a wonderful, wonderful week.